one of the biggest things that pushed the needle inside of my business to allow me to create more money and to create more free time in my life was by systematizing and automating my business. So much of my business is constructed around things that do the work for me. So I set them up once and I just have to check in on them every once in a while, make sure they're still operating and update things as necessary. But it does so much of my work inside of my business that I am able to create free time to do other work or to do fun things or to travel when I want. And so systematizing and automating my business is really important. And I have a couple of subscriptions that help me with this. So these are 5 subscriptions that I use inside of my business to allow me free time and free access to different things and the ability to level up my content so that I don't have to take steps to do certain things myself. And there's a whole bunch of them that I love. I'm going to link all of these down below. Most of these will have affiliate links, so I will get a commission from that company, not out of your pocket, but from that company if you are going to use these as well. The first one that I love and cannot live without in my business is Samcart. Samcart is my checkout cart, and they are so radically important to what I do because they allow me to create a system of funnels of upsells and downsells. This means I can list my product, and then as people are checking out on my course or my ebook or my whatever product I'm selling, physical or digital, I have the ability to say, hey, since you purchased this, would you also like this companion or this thing that makes sense to buy at the same time as this, or something that could also be beneficial but isn't related in any way? And they can say, yes, I want that extra thing added on, or no, I don't want that extra thing, I'm good. And then from there, I can decide how many extra products I'm going to offer them. So if I, for example, as an author, am selling a book to someone, one of my novels, and I say, hey, this is the second book in the series, would you also like to buy it at the same time and potentially save a little money? It's an extra link to get $1 off or something, or it's the normal price, whatever I feel like. They can then say, yes, I do want that second book. Then I can say, well, how about the third book? Do you want the final book in the series? And they can say yes or no. If they say no, I could say, okay, maybe you don't want another full-priced novel. Do you want one of my short stories for only a couple of dollars that's unrelated? I can send them through a series of, do you want this? Do you want this? And if they say yes, I can offer them more or say, awesome, here you go. And if they say no, I can say, cool, do you want something that's cheaper that you might also like? And depending on what they say, I can then go through a series of things. This has allowed me to make upsells. So when I sell something, I also make an additional sale. That is extra money in my pocket. Now, I really like Samcart because they're also connected to my email service provider, which we'll get to in a minute. And I can connect them to a bunch of different programs that I'm having. So as I'm doing this, as I'm setting all this up, I can create a system inside of my business that allows me to sell my products, my services, my digital products, and my physical products, and all of my things, and allows me to make more money and allows me to automate most of, if not all of, the process. In fact, with the subscription that I'm using here today, so much of that work is done completely hands off for me. So I am making sales and delivering products without me ever having to touch it. It is fantastic and so incredibly helpful for leveling up what I am doing and making more money in my sleep, while I'm on vacation, while something tragic has happened and I had to step away from my business for a hot minute. I am still making income because of Samcart. Now, there are other checkout carts. There's actually some other checkout carts I'm going to start bringing into what I'm doing because they have different connections to different things. But for now, and for the duration of my career, this has been the one that I've used. It is a really good program. It does cost a little bit of money, but the nice thing is they're not taking percentages of your sales. So you are paying a monthly or an annual fee on this one, and then that's it. They are not taking 10%. They're not taking 50%. So if you make enough sales to go beyond that, anything extra you keep, you are not giving them a cut of your future sales. So if you are selling millions of dollars worth of products through this, it's almost all yours. If you're selling enough to cover that subscription amount for the month or for the year, anything on top of that is solely yours. You're not splitting anything else. So it's a specific fee that is the same across the board month to month to month. And no matter how much or how little you are selling, you don't have to pay any more than what you already know. So I love that, especially because we see so many of these things taking cuts of what you are selling. And it integrates with like PayPal and Stripe and all of those things. So it's very easy and very accessible for you to use as well. Now, another thing that I do use as an entrepreneur is my email service provider. ConvertKit is the company that I use. I didn't start out with ConvertKit. I started with one of the smaller ones, and I quickly outgrew it, which is why I always advise starting at a good, solid place. Even if you're a brand new beginner, if you're brand new inside of your business, you are going to want to be in a place where you can grow into it. Because if you outgrow it quickly, with email service providers, that is a lot of work to deal with all of your connections and your emails and your integrations and the places that you have it. If you have a program and you outgrow it, which most entrepreneurs very quickly do, you will then have to spend hours or days or hire somebody to get everything moved over properly and make sure all your integrations work. And then if it is connected to your checkout cart and your sales pages and all those things, you're changing links, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And I will tell you, I switched it over. I did like some of the automated switching over things, and it messed it up. So when I sent out my first email after one of them, it sent it to the wrong places and the wrong things, and it was a disaster. So don't do what I did. Go with an email service provider that's going to work for you. I highly recommend ConvertKit because it integrates so well with so many things. So I am able to deliver my freebies. It will deliver my digital stuff for me. I can put my links in there. I can do all sorts of things, and I have lots of videos on that. I have a really great playlist on how to do direct sales as an author over on my author platform. I'll link that for you. It's really, really like step-by-step, click for click, but it also works for any product or service that you're selling. So while that one is dedicated specifically to novel authors, it applies to you to just substitute the word of your business in with the author life stuff. And so you can integrate it to do a ton of different things and to automate a lot of what you're doing. So you can automate your welcome sequence, the several emails you're sending when people are joining your list to deliver freebies. I have courses and lists and videos, free videos on how to do all of that kind of thing here on the channel. So you can check all those things out. But it's very, very simple to set up a number of emails when they first come in, and then your weekly emails that you're sending out. You can do templates and designs and all sorts of really different things that are going to make your life a lot easier. So ConvertKit is one that I have been working with for many years now. It is the one I recommend to people. I have looked at other things and other options, and there are other platforms. Let me be very clear. There are other platforms that kind of act like they pitch themselves as being able to do several different things. So you can kind of use it as a sales cart. You can kind of use it as your email. You can kind of use it for some other things. And I've seen some of my friends use it. So I looked into it. For the limited amount of stuff you get in some of these other things, it's less expensive, and you have more space and time, and everything is better if you do several different programs and just integrate them together. It takes you less time. It gives you more money. It gives you more space. You aren't paying for as much. And so some of these other platforms, I will not name them here, but there are some of them that people are like, this is the ultimate. This is the thing that all the entrepreneurs are using. That's because they didn't do their research. And it's costing them way more and limiting them way more than some of the other platforms. So ConvertKit is the one that I do recommend because they're really, really good about the integrations. And especially for the cost, it is going to be much more effective for you, even as a beginner, to start with ConvertKit and grow into it than to transition to it from something else. So you want to make sure you're being very, very cautious and very, very careful of which email service providers you are picking, because you want to do one that's going to work to your benefit. Because if you don't, it's not good. Moving away from things that are made to automate and to systematize your business, there are 3 more subscriptions that I really love and cannot live without inside of my business that help me to create my content better, stronger, faster, so much easier. The first is Adobe CC. Now, you know I love my Adobe. I love it over all of the other lesser quality programs that you could be using. I call them the starter programs. They're the Canva level type things, which you can, as a starter, absolutely, you can use Canva. But learning things like Adobe help you to level up, give you far more advantages in how you're creating your content and how you're stylizing it. And once you've learned it, it's really easy to learn more. So there's a bit of a learning curve to things like Photoshop and InDesign and Premiere Pro. And they have lower levels too. So Adobe's really smart. They understand that you are going to have a learning curve to learn Photoshop. So they also, in your CC subscription, your Creative Cloud subscription, they give you Adobe Express. It's the equivalent of Canva and allows you to then level up and use those skills to parlay into the bigger, better programs like Photoshop. They are going to have things like Adobe Premiere Rush, which is the lower version of Premiere Pro. It's going to be more user-friendly for the beginners. And so you can use what you learned there and transition that over to Premiere when you're leveling up. There's so many programs, and it's all covered within the CC suite. So if you are going with the Creative Cloud, and you can, by the way, buy all of these different subscriptions individually. If you only want it for video editing or you only want it for photo editing, you can use that very cheaply, just those individual programs. I like CC because it gives me access to all of it. And even though I don't use the entire suite, it is well worth it for the programs that I am using. So I cannot say enough good things about Adobe Creative Cloud. It's just, I've been using it for many years. I started out in my photography and now I use it for my videography and all of those things. So that's going to allow me to create faster, to create better, and to have more features and functionalities to help me rise above everybody else. I can create things that you can't create on Canva. And we also have to take into consideration the licensure. If you are using something like Canva, you can't copyright protect or trademark the things you're making there. It's part of their terms of service. If you are bringing in all of your own elements and you're just using Canva to arrange it, then maybe you've got a case, you can do it because it's your own content. But if you're using their fonts, their graphics, their anything else, you can't copyright protect it or trademark protect any of those things that you're making. So while it's there and you can use it, you can't really get very far with it. So thinking those things through, it's usually a pretty good idea to start your education inside of the Adobe space. And there are other things that you can do in terms of videography and in terms of photography and your design work and all of those things. You can research all of that, but this is definitely the one I recommend because it is such a community leader and an industry leader in the space and has been all along. It's where you should be. So Adobe has been just game-changing for me, but in terms of that content creation, I also have to make sure I've got the elements that I need, the things that I'm going to need to help me to stand out. So as I'm creating my videos, music sometimes is a really big part of that. Now, I don't use music in all of my videos, but I do use music and I do use sound effects a lot, especially if you're paying attention to my recent content creation. I'm starting to level up more documentary style, more cinematic style. I am getting sound effects. I'm getting more of the different types of transitions and cuts and video overlays and really cool like pop-up type things. Those I am getting from two different sites. The first is Epidemic Sound. So Epidemic Sound is for my music and for my sound effects. You can buy a monthly or an annual subscription. And within that, you are then going to be able to download anything on the site and use it in your content as long as you're covered by the subscription. Now, one of the big questions I get, or I guess people who are uneducated get some nasty comments going on, they think that when you're done with your subscription, now all of a sudden anything you made in the past no longer counts and is covered. That is not true. The truth of the matter is, once you are a subscribed member, anything you create and put out on the internet during that time is covered forever. So let's say you do a 1-month subscription and you create a piece of content and then you cancel your subscription after that. As long as that content is put out on the internet, you are covered within the terms of that. So let's just say it's January. It's not January right now. But if you subscribe during January, you create a video and you put it out during January, and then in February you cancel it, it is still covered because it was already out. Now, if you hold on to that video and you don't put it out until June, that's not the case because you were not a subscribed member when you were doing it. You can have up to 3 channels on your platform. So those are just covered channels. So I put in this channel here, this YouTube channel, and my associated TikTok and Instagram accounts. I do my author channel and I do my puppy influencer channel. Those are my 3. And with that, all of those are covered. They already know if it's on these channels, it's cleared to be used. They are not going to put any monetization restrictions on it. If I create a piece of content for a different channel or for somebody else, then all I have to do is once it goes up on the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, I just have to take that link and go and whitelist it so that it is cleared. I just have to say, I made this, this is clear. I did this one. And as long as it's listed on my site, I just literally pop the link in, they don't bother it. If I forget, or if something happens and I don't get to put it on the site right away, every once in a while I'll get pinged with, hey, this is not your content. And all I have to do is say, Oh, it is. It is. I just forgot to do it. Here is the email that I use for my subscription. And they say, awesome. And they move on with their business. So as long as you are a subscribed member, if you are putting it out on the internet during the time you're a subscribed member, it is clear. You don't have to worry about it after the fact. And you can also use it to make content for other people. Again, you just have to go through the process of clearing it. So don't hoard things and hold on to them for later use. That doesn't work. As long as you are subscribed and you put it out during your subscription, you're clear. So then you have access to music, you have access to instrumentals, to vocal type things. There's tons of content and it's all specific to the Epidemic Sound platform. So they're paying their artists. They're having specific artists there, and those people then get royalties from those songs when they are used from Epidemic Sound. They purchase them right from Epidemic Sound. Epidemic pays them for use of that, and then you get to use it as part of your subscription. So everybody's getting paid, everybody's getting taken care of. It's a really great process, and it helps you to be able to search to get those sound effects or those music things. And they're always updating it. They're doing different moods and different genres and different things. So I am very impressed with them, and they now have an integration for Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you are an Adobe Premiere Pro user, you have the ability to just integrate it with a plugin. I've got a video. I will link that down below for you. Now, another one that I am using is for my graphics, and this actually has more than just graphics. It does have music. It does have sound effects. It does have video templates. It has video elements. It has stock video, stock photos, tons of things. And it's not what you think it is, because there's a lot of different platforms out there. There's a lot of different things you could be using. I specifically like Elements Envato, or Envato Elements. And it is just a platform that you are going to be able to get your photos and your videos and your video templates and the different things that you are going to be using in all of your content creation. It is so incredibly helpful, and it's part of your subscription. So it's very similar to Epidemic Sound. As long as you are a subscribed member, you can download whatever. You do have to say, oh, it's for this project and it's for this project, so that they can make sure that the people who created those assets get paid for them. So when you use it, you just indicate, hey, I use this in this project. It's cleared for this. And then the program will say, cool, this person will get that part of their payment. So it works very similarly to, I was going to make an author reference, but you won't get that. So what I will say is they take all the money from all the subscribers, put it into a pot, and then based on how many things people are using every single month, that money is divided up between the creators, and they get a cut of that big pot of all of our subscription money. So everybody's getting paid, everybody's getting taken care of, and they're getting paid when people are using their assets. So as long as you're just indicating this is on this project, this is on this project, this is on this project, you are then cleared to be able to use whatever, whenever, however, whatever. It's all commercial use. So it's very, very simple for you to get graphics, to get flat lays, to get video templates, to get assets you can use in Premiere Pro. I have all sorts of pop-ups and things that I am loving using right now. And you can also get some music and some sound effects depending on what you're doing. I prefer to use Epidemic Sound for my sound effects and for my music, but you can use it there as well. You may just have to deal with more of those monetization strikes against you. And they won't be strikes. It's just something where you're going to have to get proof. Say that I am a subscribed member of this platform. This is the email that I used in association with that, so this is clear. But you will get more people saying, hey, that's my song on YouTube, and then you'll have to go and prove yourself. So it's a lot more work, it's a lot more effort, but it is part of it if you don't want to do multiple platforms for it. So those are 5 really big things that I'm using inside of my business in terms of subscriptions. I've been with them for years, literally years, and I keep coming back again and again and again. I recommend them to everybody. A lot of these programs, a lot of these different things have tutorials here on my channel, but if you want further tutorials, go ahead and let me know so I can help you to level up in your business. And all of these make me more money in my business because I can just grab graphics. I can just grab photos. I can just grab different videos. I can grab music elements. I can grab things that are going to help as assets in part of my video creation. And then I can automate things inside of my business to make me money. So I'm saving money. I am making money. I am using the elements that I have to create more money. I am doing all of these things in a way that saves me time and effort. So I have more time, I have more effort, I have less stress, I can create higher level content, and I am able to bring in more money through sales because of the visuals, because of the sounds, because of the video, because of the automations, because things are already set up for me. It saves me so much energy and stress and work when it comes to my businesses, which allows me to go take a walk in the middle of the day in the park with my dog, which allows me to go on vacation whenever I dang well please, which allows me to take days off at a time, which allows me to do things when I can't do my work because the neighbors started construction like they did this week. So it has been a total game changer for me to use these 5 different parts of the platform. These are easy subscriptions, and I will never say no to subscribing to these different companies unless something radically and dramatically changes in them, because they are so, so good and gives me so much of an advantage as a content creator. So drop your questions down below. There are other subscriptions I use. There are other programs, but these are my top 5, my favorites right now, and have been for many, many years. So drop your recommendations on subscriptions down below, or things I should check out for you, tutorials that you would like to see on any of these topics, and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of your social media marketing to save you time, effort, and stress while you're creating more money inside of your business.